Hachette Audio presents The Engine 2 7-Day Rescue Diet. Written by Rip Esselstyn. Read by Brandon Potter. This program contains a Mac and PC compatible PDF. Introduction. The week of December 13th, 2004 began on a cold and rainy Monday in Austin, Texas. It was the start of some torturous days, but such moments are not uncommon for a firefighter. Our first call came into the Engine 2 station at 5 a.m., lifting assistance. This meant that EMS needed us to help them lift and carry a patient into the ambulance. Unfortunately, this wasn't unusual. This call was like so many others in which we had to help EMS carry people who were morbidly obese. This time, it was a 44-year-old woman who weighed 450 pounds and couldn't walk. Plus, the hallways in her home were so narrow and abrupt that the stretcher wouldn't fit. We lifted her onto a thick wool blanket, and then we had to maneuver her around tight corners and down the stairway. Today, instead of blankets, fire departments use a mega mover, a compact portable piece of durable material with 14 handles that can hold up to 1,000 pounds, which was created specifically for the onslaught of lifting assistance calls that fire and EMS workers respond to. It took 8 of us to accomplish the task. We positioned 2 people on each side of the blanket, 2 people at the front of the blanket, and 2 people at the rear of the blanket, while 1 person guided us down the stairs from the front and the 8th person guided us from the rear. Down we went, 1 step at a time, until we reached the front door, at which point we moved the patient from the blanket onto a hydraulic stretcher and then into the ambulance. Hydraulic stretchers can handle up to 500 pounds and take a tremendous burden off the backs of emergency service workers. We were throwing out our backs left and right before their existence. After we loaded the woman into the ambulance, I asked the EMS workers why she was being transported to the hospital. They told me she had a fever from an infection in her lower leg that wasn't healing, and they needed the doctors to look at it. Along with being overweight, the woman had type 2 diabetes. Obesity is actually one of the biggest risk factors for diabetes, which is why the latest term for this 1-2 punch of obesity with diabetes is diabesity. It is becoming an epidemic in North America. Back to the station we went. As often happens, we weren't there long. We had many other calls involving medical issues that day, including a young man reported as either asleep or unconscious in his car. We slid down the pole. Yes, Engine 2 is one of only 2 stations in Austin that still have a real firefighter's pole, and took off.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?